Nutritionist Lindsay Duncan agrees that a clean colon aids in digestion and the ability to metabolize food. I quote, "They think it's normal to have a bowel movement once every few days. I often startle my clients with the question, if we eat 3 meals daily but only eliminate once a day or once every other day, where do you think all the rest of that food is hiding?" I want you to imagine not taking your garbage out. Every day you have new trash, it goes in the garbage can, that garbage can gets filled up, you have another one, you fill it up. Imagine not taking your garbage out for a week. How about 2 weeks? How about a year? What's going to happen? What's it going to smell like? What I'm describing is the result of rotting food in the intestine because it's either not being digested properly or there's not adequate bowel function, so the food just sits there and it rots. As a consequence, there is toxic chemicals formed. These toxic chemicals, unfortunately, will absorb into the body and they begin to poison our system. Here's a diagram of what is known as a prolapsed colon. This is a consequence of fecal matter not being eliminated from the bowel on a timely basis, the weight of that fecal matter causing the bowel to drop or prolapse. When that colon hits the lower part of the abdomen, it's going to put undue pressure on the structures there, bladder, perhaps prostate in the male, and in the female, the uterus and the female organs, causing consequences in those areas. Here's a picture of the normal anatomy of the female abdomen. Notice the uterus, the ovaries, and then the colon. When the colon prolapses, it's going to put pressure on the uterus. Some of the consequences of prolapsed colon can cause female infections, cysts, and even struggles with reproduction. Here's a view of the male anatomy of the lower abdomen. Notice the proximity of the colon to the bladder and the prostate. Some of the consequences can be prostate problems, reproductive problems, even lowered sex drive. Did you know, according to the Mayo Clinic, over 60 million Americans experience heartburn on a regular basis? What's so amazing is that heartburn, indigestion, and even acid reflux are common symptoms of a toxic colon. Yet we keep ignoring the actual cause. To understand the full consequence of both toxic bowel syndrome and constipation, or autointoxication, we need to understand the main systems of elimination. There are 5 main avenues of waste elimination from the body. The first avenue of elimination is the colon. Another condition that can result of toxic bowel syndrome is called megacolon. Now, megacolon is when the colon of normal size expands up to 5 times its normal size. This is simply due to poor bowel function, not eliminating on a timely basis. As a consequence, the toxic debris sits in the colon for days, perhaps, and weeks, we don't know. You know this person who's got the big gut, skinny legs. You ever look at that and wonder what's going on there? Now you know. How about halitosis, bad breath? That's another consequence of toxic bowel syndrome. This is where the toxins absorb into the body and they're exhaled through our lungs. So that brings us to the next avenue of elimination, which is the liver. The liver is designed to filter the blood. If the colon becomes plugged up and we have this rotting material, it's got to overflow somewhere. The liver is the first one to get it, and we'll have certain symptoms that can result from that. For example, headaches. This is simply the brain crying out because it doesn't like this toxic blood that the liver is not filtering. Low energy. We can even have memory problems because if the blood is toxic, we don't think as well. Lowered sex drive, cholesterol problems. The liver is the primary gatekeeper of the blood fats, and if it's congested, it can struggle to maintain our cholesterol level. Even joint problems, and the next line of defense is the kidneys. Since the colon, the first line of defense, is not able to handle it, then somebody else has to. So now we have the kidneys are overloaded. Going to have kidney problems. Consequence of that can be blood pressure problems, even low back pain. What's the next avenue of elimination? The lungs. The lungs can also get in on the act of having to deal with some of these toxins. We already mentioned bad breath. How about asthma, allergies, even our skin? The skin is one of the largest organs of waste elimination of the body. But if the colon's backed up and the liver's backed up, the skin becomes a relief valve for the liver and for the kidneys. And so we're going to have skin problems, all a consequence of poor bowel function. Your question: if you're taking a bath or a shower every day to keep the outside clean, why wouldn't you want to keep the inside clean too? It just makes sense. This whole autointoxication process can lead to premature aging, never mind disease. Remember, we age from the inside out, not the outside in. If you want to stay young and healthy, simply apply the principles of health that I've outlined in this video. As a doctor and being in practice for over 20 years, I can tell you these principles work, and now I am sharing them with you. I apply them myself, and I reap the health benefits. Here I am, age 47, and people still think I'm in my 30s. It does work. The responsibility for your health is up to you. Take that responsibility. No one else can do that for you. Get started on the products. Take the other action steps outlined in this video. You've been armed with the truth. What you do with it is up to you. The choice is yours. Remember, health is a gift. Disease is something that we earn.